There we go. Did she smile?
I was still smiling.
She was still smiling.
I didn't make eye contact with the camera though.
Before you came in, I was looking at myself in the camera, right? And I'm like, oh, I got this random hump in my hair. And Shalon said, oh, you have humpy hair. I said, yeah, it's a dromedary hair. And she said,
It's better than a dromedary air.
oh my gosh, you guys are so funny.
Completely.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome to Sister Sharpens Sister. My name is Karen. This is Shalon, and the other beautiful woman on the separate little window that you see is Delina, or Dee Dee as we call her. And today we are talking about just random things that we have come across and things that we've been thinking about. So first one thing and then another, right?
Yes.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I didn't get hit by a tornado yesterday.
Yay.
Yep. I was praying for you.
Thank you. It was a little bit exciting. My blood sugar dropped a little bit and I had to drink juice, but it was, I've gone through hurricanes and tropical storms, but this is the first time that I've gone through a possible tornado that, according to messages my husband was getting, was on Highway 52 headed to Westmoreland. That's me.
Oh, wow.
I'm not in Westmoreland, but I am just a little more than a stone's throw away from Highway 52. So if that tornado is following 52, it's hitting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the news was saying it's in Bethpage. Yeah. So I don't live in Bethpage, and there's more distance between me and Bethpage than there is me and Highway 52. So the Bethpage one I was concerned about, but there's hills and stuff between where I am and Bethpage. So although I was concerned about it, it wasn't that bad, but the one that was coming 52, that scared me. So, and I was talking to you guys, I was like, gosh, I need to let them know, because even if we don't get hit by it, we may lose power.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And I was doing that while my husband had the news on, and he had his phone, and he was going in and out of the house looking and saying, it's really dark back this way. And he's like, that way is Bethpage. Because he knows all that stuff. I know where Highway 52 is, but that's it. I don't know where all the places are. But yeah, it was pretty scary. And although we don't have a technical tornado shelter, we can go underneath the house. It's not a basement, but it's got an outside entrance to where we can get kind of crawl in. And then a part of the house we can actually stand up underneath.
Right.
So it's not really a basement, but it can act as a basement.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what we had plans to do, and I packed up a few bags, because if it was going to take the house, I wanted to at least have clothes and panties and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and my medicine.
Got to get the important stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Medicine and panties.
Yes. Medicine, panties, and I did it for both of us. And I also collected like my wallet.
You got your husband's panties too?
Yeah, I got him some underwear, but I didn't get any bras for him though. I only got the bras for me. But I collected everything. I collected my little laptop, because I put it in some bags, and then I was gonna put it in a trash bag to protect it from getting wet and everything. And if we were gonna have to go under the house, then we were gonna go under the house, and all of that was gonna be protected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it turns out that, and this is stuff that wasn't on the news. This is stuff that my husband is telling me that people have been telling him, is that what seemed to be happening was the storms were coming through and tornadoes kept trying to form. They were seeing funnel clouds coming down from the sky, but the tornado never could quite keep its form or fully develop.
Good. Thank you, Jesus.
So that's
the Appalachian Mountains.
Well, I'm not in the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, thank you, Lord, for the Appalachian Mountains for sure. But I'm not in the Appalachian Mountains. That's the Smoky Mountains.
It's in Blue Ridge.
Wait.
You can hear us, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. See, people around here call what we have here mountains, and I'm like, yeah, y'all don't know what mountains are. These are hills.
That's what my youngest says. When she moved to Mississippi, she was like, "Oh yeah, you and your husband are going to live up on the hill," is what she said. And then she said she got there and she's like, "But where's the hill?"
Yeah. So people's ideas, especially if they've not been out, their idea of a mountain or a hill is not the same as what we have.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm not in the Appalachian Mountains, but there are some hills. Um, and what was I saying? That okay, apparently what was happening was tornadoes were trying to form, but they never could quite form and stay formed. And there were some tornadoes that hit in McNairy County, which is in Western Tennessee, which is where I am. So there were some tornadoes that hit, but not here. So yeah, and once it all went away, because we went past the time they said that you're under tornado watch until whatever the time was. I don't remember now.
Right. I think it was around 6.
Yeah, it was.
I'm thinking 6, but the first one I got said 5:15, and then we passed that. Yeah, and then we got another one, and I'm thinking it said 6, and I think that was the last one for us. And once we got past that, and it was maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes after or whatever, I walked outside and the birds were flying around and eating. And I told my husband, I said, we're good. We're good. Because if anything like that was coming, the animals would not be out doing their thing.
Right. Yeah.
And we were at the store and driving home, and we were looking at, well, Karen was looking at the messages and relaying it to me. And and you mentioned the birds being out. And I remembered instantly being at mine and mother's work when Hurricane Charlie came through. And
Yes.
y'all noticing the birds by the lake.
Yeah, the birds. And there were some ducks. There were some ducks on the lake. Yeah, they were out just doing their thing. And so we were like, yeah, that storm's not coming here. Those animals will not be out there doing that.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about, is like, they know. Animals know.
Yeah. They know. Yeah. Yeah. And the man I was dating at the time, he lived and worked in Port Charlotte, which is, it hit Port Charlotte like directly. And he went to work that morning.
Hurricane Charlie was very, he was compact, he was small, but he was very powerful. Yeah.
I remember.
But he said that when he was at work and he was watching the news, and the news kept saying, except for Steve Jervey out of Tampa, everybody kept saying that it was going to go in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Steve Jervey said, no, it's going to go in Charlotte Harbor.
Oh.
Yes, he called it.
That one right.
He called it. And after that point, anytime hurricanes were coming, that's who we watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, the man I was dating at the time was at work, and he was watching the news and listening to the people, but he wasn't watching Steve Jervey. He was watching people that were south of him. And then he was like, yeah, I think something's happening. And he said he went outside. He said it was dead quiet. No birds, no animals, no bugs, no nothing.
Yeah.
He said it was dead quiet. And then he said he looked and he saw birds flying north.
Oh.
Up to where you guys were.
Yeah.
Yes. They weren't flying inland to Florida, because if anybody remembers Hurricane Charlie, it came in Charlotte Harbor and then hit Kings Highway and went to Orlando.
Yeah. Right up the middle.
Yep.
Right.
So
yeah, I remember we got some effects of that all the way up here in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strong storm. But watch the animals. The animals know what's happening. So if animals are running and they're all running the same direction, you should be running the direction they're going.
Yeah.
Something's going on somewhere that you don't want to be part of.
Yeah. It's interesting what you get used to, because the thought of being in an area that gets tornado hit scares me to death.
Yeah.
But a hurricane?
Same.
Yeah. Well, and that's how I am, because you could literally run from a hurricane. They see it coming, you can just leave. That's not really how it is for tornadoes.
You have time.
Unless you get a notification it's going to be severe storms, possible tornadoes, and you leave. But who's going to do that? Not most people are not going to do that.
No.
It's harder to run from a tornado.
No.
Yeah.
And they can spring out of anywhere, because like I said, my husband was getting messages from people he knows that were saying that one of them said that there was an actual tornado on Highway 52 moving to Westmoreland. And others were just saying, no, it's not an actual tornado. It's trying to form. but it's not actually a tornado because it never could quite grasp what it needed to fully form. And it dissipated and went away.
Now, I'll clip this part out, but Dee Dee, do you remember? And I'm going to actually look at you.
Okay.
Because you're over here. My camera's right.
Okay.
You're over
okay.
here. I think I was around 9 or 10, and we were down at Ike's Fork at Jane's mom and dad's place.
Mm-hmm.
And there were bad storms coming through. And we stood on her back porch and watched a tornado go across the ridge of the mountain, across the creek. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I distinctly remember that. And Mother was like, "Get back inside, get back inside, get back in the house."
Yeah. Yeah. And she sat outside on Judy's porch during that last hurricane.
Category 3 storm, sitting out on the front porch watching it go by.
Yes.
The eye went over where they were at.
That's scary.
Her and Judy both were sitting there doing that. And she goes, yeah, every now and again we would get lifted up. And I'm like, oh, well, you don't weigh nothing and you're out in a Cat 3 hurricane, please. So I cannot believe that Bobby and everybody let you all be out there.
Right?
I'd have been standing in front of the door and daring them to try to move me.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get much more redneck than that.
Yeah, here, hold my beer. Let me go watch this hurricane.
Hey, hold my coffee.
Yes, for sure. Hold my coffee.
It's funny.
Yeah. So, but the intensity of that was way more than what I've ever felt for hurricanes or tropical storms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you told me that you had to get something to eat because your blood sugar was dropping, I was like, immediately make sure you have something for your blood sugar close at hand at all times.
Well, and when I put the bags together, I did really good, but I did not remember a hairbrush or stuff for the blood sugar. I remembered all my medicine and supplies, but I didn't remember anything for the blood sugar.
Well, I'm glad I told you then.
That's in my head now. So if something happens again, I will probably remember to grab whatever food.
I will tell you too, something that works better than a trash bag for keeping stuff dry is those, if you get the name brand and they're really good quality plastic, is that those vacuum seal bags.
Oh, I've actually got some of those. Yeah.
If once you seal it, you don't have to like suction it out. You know, you
right.
have to, but you can. It'll stay dry.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought about getting some of those and putting some towels and stuff in the Jeep under the seats.
That would be good. I mean, especially if you guys are going to go like you did and get in the water and stuff, and then you would have them.
Or like we were when we first got up here and had the Jeep all open and got stuck in the rain. Poor Tim. Yes. We're at Biscuit World, and I was like, "Oh no, it's raining!" And then Tim runs out to get the Jeep, to pull the top back up. The doors, I mean, like everything else was open. We just were able to put the top up. But
wow.
And then I was like, man, it would be nice to have some towels. Well, I have one kind of big thing to share.
Let me move this. So
no, you're fine. No, set it up here. There you go. But I did see something interesting as I am scrolling TikTok. I'm getting ready to go on Tuesday, fly out to Arizona for a work trip. So, and of course my phone knows that stuff, and it now knows that I'm in West Virginia. So I get this NBC News article video of the Yeager Airport in Charleston. And that's where I'm flying out of.
Okay.
They have dogs that they use, they were border collies in the video, to scare away the birds and the animals so they don't fly up into the...
Oh, wow.
And out of our Washington bureau, take a look at these pups at West Virginia's airport. They've got a job. These are dogs on a job helping to keep the airfield free of wildlife. They don't hurt any animals, just scare them off. And that's a big deal. The FAA says 20,000 strikes happen every year at airports across the country, bird strikes. And there in this airport, one official says they've cut down on those strikes by about 70%.
Yeah, so evidently the Yeager Airport here in Charleston uses dogs out there to help get rid of all the
Well,
wild.
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, they don't hurt them or anything. They just chase them off.
You know, it's amazing what animals can do. The
Yeah.
different.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other the other night, when was that? Friday night, because my husband Arnie has gone to Ohio to visit his mother this weekend, and Friday night my blood sugar dropped to 40.
Yeah, that's
All
low.
the way down to 40. My dog was on me, in my face. So I don't think it would take much to train him to be like a
safety dog.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much.
I think that's so cool.
It is. And they have dogs that can sniff out cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Infections and stuff like that. Yeah.
They're actually training dogs now. I don't know if you've heard about it, and I don't have the story in front of me in order to be 100% accurate, but there was a lady that kept noticing her husband had something weird about his breath.
Oh, okay.
She could smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else could smell it. And she was like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong.
I think I've heard it too. Yeah.
And a few years later, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Mm-hmm.
And she had told the doctor, does that affect the breath? So they started doing tests, and yeah, they can detect Parkinson's disease by something in your breath. And they're actually training dogs to now sniff people's breath to see if they have Parkinson's.
Okay.
I thought that was just wild.
That's amazing. Okay, because I found an article where researchers scanned brain of dying patient. Okay, the man was in the hospital after developing epilepsy after he fell, and while the doctors were using continuous EEG to detect his seizures and treat him, the man had a heart attack and died.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Now, around the time of death, the EEG recorded changes in gamma brain waves.
Yeah.
And other types of brain waves. And the brainwave patterns were similar to what occurs during dreaming, memory recall, and meditation. And this was after he died. This was after his heart stopped.
After his heart stopped, this is what his brain was doing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I found other articles that said, let me find it. That 2 or 4. That researchers were scanning the brains of comatose patients.
Yeah.
And researchers found that 2 of the 4 comatose patients had brain waves that resembled consciousness after they were taken off life support. They were comatose. So they're basically brain dead.
Wow.
When they were taken off of life support, their brain showed activity.
Oh my gosh.
And
whoa.
I found another article that said that they actually, and I didn't read this one real good, but what it said is that they were scanning the brain of someone who was dying, or like the comatose people.
Yeah.
And they had 900 seconds of brain activity. That's 15 minutes.
900 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And I've read stuff.
Go ahead, I'm done.
And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find what I had read a while back about how when they scanned the brain of people who were dying, and this was people who were on life support, and when they took them off of life support, they were doing MRIs or something like that when they took them off life support, and what happened to the brain after that. That the areas of the brain that were active were areas of the brain that are active when we are walking and talking.
Oh.
I couldn't find that article. So
it makes me think of a song.
Well, as a faith person, I think we're receiving judgment during that time.
The song was He Walks With Me and He Talks with me.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. 900 seconds.
That's what it said. Yeah. So there's all kinds of articles on it, and the articles don't talk and say the exact same things, but still, to have any activity in your brain when you're dead, especially if you're comatose,
Right.
that's no brain activity.
Exactly.
Now, some of those comatose patients, they didn't see any activity in their brain. My theory on that is that those two people, their souls had already left.
Mm.
But the two people that showed activity, their souls had not left their bodies yet.
Ooh, that's eerie to think about.
That is very eerie to think about.
Well, and that's just me. That's just me blurting stuff out of my mouth. So,
well, I mean, it makes sense.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it does to me. Something else along the medical line that I read about just today, and I didn't know about this, but they've developed a blood test for Alzheimer's.
No kidding.
No kidding. It looks at the development of the amyloid plaques and something called tau plaques. I can't remember how they spelled it. TAO. Tangle. What happens in Alzheimer's disease is that there is a problem with the production and the use of the proteins in the nerves that build up on the nerve themselves, causing plaques, and they call it amyloid plaques. Those plaques then actually turn into these tangles that actually, think about cord gremlins getting with all of your computer cables or your extension cords, and how everything's all jumbled up like this. And that's what happens in Alzheimer's disease. Well, those two separate, the plaques and the tangles, produce proteins of their own that they've been able to detect in blood, and it's got a 90% accuracy rate.
I wonder how far along you have to be.
Well, they've done the article that I read. Now, I'm reading this off of Google because I can't find the specific article that I read. It was on whatever that Microsoft News thing is that pops up whenever you hover over top of the thing on your computer.
This.
Yeah, whatever that thing is. That article said that they tested people that were known to not have it, people that were in early stages, and people that were in mid stages. They didn't test people in late stages. But yeah, and it was a 90% accuracy rate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge step forward to also being able to possibly treat.
Yes, and that was what they were saying, is that if you can detect it early,
yes,
treatment that we have now for Alzheimer's, especially with the medications that have come out within the last 5 or 10 years, can really help you keep your cognitive abilities for a lot longer than it used to be. Yeah. Well, that was one of the big things that I saw this week. So wild.
But I did have one article that I've kept saved, because when I first read it, I was a little sad. And being from, having lived in Florida for so long, Disney, and it's about the attractions that they're going to be closing.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. So, okay, you know what, though, I will say that there was one attraction in Epcot that I went on as a little girl that I actually got to take my girls on.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've never been to Epcot.
That is no longer there. You've never been to Epcot?
No.
When we would go, the park that we went to the least was Animal Kingdom. But the other three, we hit about every single time we were there. All right. So in Animal Kingdom, there is the Tree of Life in the middle, big old tree. You might have seen a picture of it. There's an attraction in that tree called It's a Bug's Life.
Oh, okay.
And
is that like the movie?
Yes, it's got the movie characters in it. It's 3D and 4D. because you get sprayed with stuff. A stink bug comes along and they spray you with stinky things. And then, cockroaches come by and all of a sudden you feel something on your feet.
Oh,
like something pokes out on your feet.
And you went on this ride voluntarily, knowing something like that was going to crawl across your feet?
No, I didn't know that initially. But when we went back, I was like, all right, be prepared.
Lift your legs.
Lift your legs up and lean forward, because at the end you get poked in the back. But they are discontinuing that show to open up one for the new Zootopia movie that they've done.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. So the Zootopia, the new attraction will be called Better Zootopia. Comes out the winter of 2025, between 2025 and 2026.
Better Zootopia.
Zootopia.
Zooget. Oh.
Zoogether.
Like together, but with zoo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it still going to be in the Tree of Life? That's still going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's staying. That's one of those things like the ball. They can't get rid of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Epcot ball is what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
All right, let's see. In Animal Kingdom also, there's a Dino Land, and there's this ride there called Dinosaur, which I think is kind of Disney's nudge to Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
Over at Universal.
Right.
It is a very rough ride. I did not like it. Like,
bang you around.
Bang you around. Like, if you have neck or back problems, do not do this thing. And you get all those warnings beforehand too. They are really adamant about that. Mm-hmm. But it is going to be replaced. Oh, I lost my spot. Where were we? Okay, at the top. So they are going to take that Dino Land and make it a new Tropical Americas for the movie Encanto.
Oh, so like Central American.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's see. That one is expected to open in 2027.
They got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah, they do.
That's a tremendous amount of work to dismantle something and put up something completely different like that.
Oh, I know. And Disney really does do it best. They are very good at what they
do. They are.
As making you part of the experience.
Yeah, they are.
Let's see. Monsters Inc. themed land is being planned for Disney's Hollywood Studios. And this one made me the most sad. That is going to be put in where the Muppets courtyard. Aww.
That is sad.
It is sad, yes. And the article that I copied and pasted here says attractions come and go, but this particular one was beloved for more than just its slapstick comedy gags. It is one of the final projects that Muppet creator Jim Henson worked on before he died in 1990.
Wow.
So if you are at Hollywood Studios, go see the Muppets 3D show, because it is going to be discontinued for Monsters Inc.
Wow.
Themed goodies. Okay, and it says, oh, you better go quick, because June 7th is officially the last day to watch the Muppets.
Oh gosh, that's just a couple months.
Yeah, this article has been out for a couple months.
Okay.
Like, I've had this saved for a while. Oh, let's see. But that being said, also in Hollywood Studios, you have the Rock and Roller Coaster, which is the roller coaster that it's Disney's only upside down coaster, and it's inside, and right now it's themed to Aerosmith. So you listen to Aerosmith music while you're going through all these black light psychedelic looking things. You're in a limousine, and actually at the beginning of the ride, in the queue when you're waiting, you know how they do little attraction things to keep you busy.
Yeah,
because you got to wait for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And this is one that you do wait for, but it's worth it. And they have like a recording studio, and they do like the hologram images of the band.
Oh wow, how cool is that?
It is really cool. Yeah, and you're like, wait, what am I seeing?
Like, are they small, like
No,
Princess Leia?
no,
Oh, they're full size.
like you're right there and they're talking to you. It is pretty cool. But that ride is going to be discontinued, and they say that they're going to theme it in Muppets. So,
Oh,
I know, so weird, right? Let's see. Let me see the date on this. I don't think they have a date for the closure. Yeah, it just says that they're going to be relocated to that area.
Mm-hmm.
And since Aerosmith, whatever they have with the band and whatever record label Aerosmith has, I have no idea.
mm-hmm.
Once that contract is up, then Muppet something will be over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they would get rid of the actual coaster. They just retheme it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Kind of like what they did with the Dee Dee. You remember the Norwegian ride in Epcot?
Mm-hmm.
Ride, the Viking boat ride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's now Anna and Elsa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So same ride, it's just themed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my husband was not happy about that. He loves that coaster.
Much more a Viking ride kind of guy instead of Elsa.
No, I don't know if he even went on that ride at Epcot, but Rock and Roller Coaster ride is his favorite.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those, it's a launch coaster.
Oh.
So you go from like 0 to 70 in 2 seconds.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Well, this one, I cannot keep a straight face. Like, really? My pictures are bad. And we'll see if I'll go back and see if I can find my picture the first time I rode this thing, so you can plug it in.
Put it in.
See, I look so scared.
But y'all remember we did the Tampa thing, right? The Busch Gardens in Tampa. We did the Shikra. You
have that picture.
It's not here. It's at the house in Florida.
Oh, okay.
But we took the picture, and it's Karen's oldest is on there too. Yeah. And you all are all, yeah. And I'm like,
yeah. I may have a copy of that picture.
Dee Dee's like, I'm gonna die.
If I'm not mistaken, my kid was in between me and you, maybe, or me and Dee Dee, and she was,
I don't remember.
She was holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's also you on the Tower of Terror ride the first time you rode that.
Yeah, that was funny. Yes.
That's the one where you leaned your head over on some straight shoulder.
Yeah. I said, oh, please make it stop.
Make it stop.
Oh, that's so funny.
You know what's funny is Tower of Terror is my favorite ride.
Not getting rid of that, are they?
No, not that I know of. Although at Disneyland in California, the Tower of Terror is not Tower of Terror anymore. It is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was really disappointed with the Muppet thing going away, especially since that's so iconic.
Muppets are iconic, yes, for sure.
But they are doing something else with them.
So they're not leaving, they're just moving.
Yes. And then the last thing that I have, which is happening at the Magic Kingdom, and it is the Liberty Square and Tom Sawyer Island.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
You have the riverboat that goes, and you can ride over to Tom Sawyer Island, and it's this big tree house that you can just climb all over. And
I've never done it, but I've seen the pictures of it.
Yeah. One of the very first pictures that we ever took at Disney when we took the girls is on that.
On the boat, or
no, on the Tom Sawyer tree house.
That's cool.
And so that is going to be replaced with Radiator Springs from Cars.
It's spring now, and hummingbirds are back.
Did you get your feeders cleaned out and stuff?
Yep, they were very happy, I think, coming and eating. So they're there for them. But
But
I also was like, what about the bees and stuff? Because I like to feed the bees and everything. Help them out too when they first come out. But I don't have anything to do that with, so I wasn't able to do it this year. But I looked up who are the early pollinators.
oh, okay.
Yeah, bumblebee queens are among the first bees to emerge in spring, seeking out early bloom flowers for nectar and pollen to build their nests.
Mom always gets up first.
Yes, yes. And a lot of people want to kill their dandelions. Leave them alone.
I know.
The bees rely on them. And mining bees, also known as sand bees, begin emerging and foraging for pollen and nectar in late March and early April. So they're early pollinators too.
Where are they located?
I didn't look where they were located.
I've never heard of a sand bee.
Yeah, me neither.
I've heard of carpenter bees.
Yeah. Carpenter bees are pollinators too, but they don't pollinate as good as like a honeybee. But they do pollinate, but they can be a nuisance because they live inside wood, so they can eat out a place to live on your porch or whatever.
Yeah, they eat your wood.
I just yesterday it was warm enough that we had the door open and the screen pulled over here on the back door, and there was a honeybee that I was a good girl, didn't kill it. I helped it get outside. So
yeah, honeybees are good. Hairy-footed flower bee.
Hairy-footed?
Yes, that's what it says. Flower bees.
The hobbit bee.
And other pollinators would be like butterflies, and then flies and beetles.
Flies? Really?
No.
Like a housefly?
Yes. There's certain types of flowers that they will go to. Yes.
Now,
there's also
butterfly garden.
Oh, yeah, butterflies. I'd love to have a lot of butterflies. Now, as far as flies and bees, so people know, flies have one set of wings, bees have two.
Okay, yeah.
So if you're looking at it and you're paying attention to it, if they only have one set of wings, it's a fly, not a bee. And I'm saying this because there's a certain type of bee. It's called a hoverfly. Okay. And it kind of no, it's a fly, but it looks like a yellow jacket.
Oh, okay.
They're smaller than a yellow jacket.
Yeah.
But they have the same color patterns as a yellow jacket.
The yellow and black
mechanism for them. Yeah. So they will not hurt you. They'll be a pest to you, but they're not going to sting you. So, and just so people know that a yellow jacket is a wasp, not a bee.
Yeah, there's a distinction somehow, and I don't remember what it is.
I think it's how their nests are done.
Well, that's one of the things. Yeah, bees generally have a robust, hairy, fuzzy body. Many have branched hairs that help them collect the pollen. They often have thicker billed and shorter legs compared to wasps. And some bees, like honeybees, are known for their black and yellow stripes, but other bee species have different colors. A wasp will typically have a slender, smooth body, lack the branched hairs found on bees, may have a more aerodynamic shape with a narrow waist. Many wasps are black and yellow, but some have other color patterns. So behavior and diet is also different. Bees are known to pollinate, and although wasps can and yellow jackets can, they're just not that good at it. So it's not that they're not useful at all. Honeybees are much, much better. Many wasp species are predators, hunting other insects, spiders, and caterpillars, so they're useful. Some wasps are scavengers, feeding on dead insects or dead animals. Some wasps are slow social, while some are solitary. Wasps build nests from papery materials such as chewed wood pulp or mud. And unlike bees, wasps can sting multiple times. So a bee, once it stings, it's gone. I mean, a wasp is like it's got a sword in its sheath. It can pull it out and use it whenever it wants.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So And a bee, poor little thing, just has a dart. Then once they throw it, it's gone.
On.
Aw.
Yeah.
I actually, you bringing up the spider reminded me of a thing that I saw of this woman who was preserving spiders in resin.
Ooh.
And I said, we should get one for Dee Dee. It'll be exposure therapy for her spider because
Yes, that would.
she made doorknobs that have
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. I told her, I said, your husband would just need to get one of those and put it on the door to a room that he doesn't want you to go in.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a DD deterrent.
that would work. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those things. And my husband calls me whenever I don't like the spiders, and I call for him. I say, "Oh, monster killer, kill this monster for me."
And
He goes and he looks at me and he goes, "You big sissy." And I say, "Well, I am a big sissy and a little sissy."
That's right. She's both.
Yep.
Because, like on Instagram, I've seen him on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook Reels.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we all watch Reels. His name is Maddie Think Tech. That's his handle.
I don't pay attention to people's handles unless they show up a lot in my feed.
Right? Well, he shows up a lot in mine. And he's the guy that's like, websites you should know about, part 343. And
oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I was curious about this one because he said if you go to this particular website and type it in, you can watch TV from anywhere in the world. And you can.
Oh.
And they don't charge you.
For right now.
Right now, yeah. TV.garden, GARDEN. And if you go to it, you get this big globe and you use your cursor. Wonder what we can watch from Antarctica. No channels available.
I was going to say that would just be snow and ice.
So look, let's go here to New Zealand. Look at all this.
Wow.
I mean, on New Zealand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 9 channels that are available on TV.garden. But if you go to right here, the United Kingdom, are you seeing all this? You can see all this, right?
There's a ton.
There's a ton that you can watch. I didn't look at United States. Look, you see how far I've scrolled. You see how far that's come down, right?
Yeah, there's a lot in the US too.
A ton. And it's free TV. I mean, not that you have to pay for TV anyway, because of Tubi and Freevee and things like that you can just stream online. But this, I just thought this was really cool that you could watch stations from other countries.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is cool.
And the last one that I had that I thought was really interesting was that, have you guys heard of a company called Camping World?
Mm-hmm.
They sell campers and RVs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. He has been sued by several different cities because of the size of his American flags that he flies over top of his company, RV lot.
What state is he in?
He's everywhere. He started in Florida.
All over the place.
He's all over the place.
I was going to say we have RV World down where we're at, and they fly a huge flag.
Yeah. But he's being sued. This is him right here in a news article.
Oh, good grief.
Okay. Let me see. He says, this flag is not coming down. This is the third city in several years that have tried to sue us to take the flag down, threatening jail and a variety of other fines. The CEO, Marcus, I'm probably going to butcher this name because he's actually from Lebanon. Marcus, how do you say that? Lemonis?
Lemonis?
Lemon. It's lemon is, but it's all one word. He immigrated. He moved from Beirut in Lebanon to the United States and went through citizenship and all this other good stuff. And he says that he flies this American flag at the size that it is because of the opportunity that America has provided for him.
Good for him.
And he refuses. He says, I am not taking it down. And
No, I wouldn't take it down either.
In Tennessee is the last one that.
It's also North Carolina.
Yeah.
What's up with that crap?
Tennessee and North
Carolina and Tennessee.
Right. And that's what he said. He said, of all the places, Seaverville. Do you know?
I've been to that camper world.
You've been there?
Mm-hmm.
Seaverville says, let us be clear. This issue has never been about the American flag. Our community is proudly American, and patriotism runs deep in Seaverville. The display of the flag is not only welcomed, it's celebrated.
What's the concern?
The height of his poles. Because they are higher than anything else. And the city has a limit on how high things can be.
Well, okay.
Now that I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, does he have to have a light on top of his pole because it's interfering with flying?
What he says is that the poles are cleared by the FAA, and that should be good enough for anybody else.
Well, and I see where he's coming from, but different municipalities have different ordinances that you have to follow.
Right.
Yes.
Now, I do remember here in my town, gosh, I think it was before you were born, there was a big storm that came through. And Dee Dee, do you remember like the hills sign got tore down? Do you remember how high it used to be up in the air?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It used to be, yeah.
And then after that storm, man, everything shrunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember that happening, the height. But yeah, he's adamant. He said, no, it should be the tallest thing so that everybody can see it.
Okay,
You can,
that's fine, but get a pole that is at the maximum height.
or some municipalities will let you get a waiver for it.
Yeah. I wonder if
So he can apply for that.
Yeah. Maybe they can grandfather it in because it's been there for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are ways around that. I mean,
it just makes me think, like, because there's the huge flag that is at the intersection of I-4 and 75 in Tampa area. Huge flagpole, huge flag that will actually fly the Confederate flag.
I know Shalon and I went to do something up in Tampa one day, and we were driving back, just driving. Then we're like, what? We go through a time warp or something? What's going on?
Yeah,
it was like surprising.
I remember that because it was so shocking to me. Like my heart.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, he got you.
My heart kind of a little bit because I was like, what am I seeing?
Yeah, I remember that.
It is giant.
Yeah, it's huge.
But I don't know.
See, right here, it says that in Greenville, North Carolina, where they're having an issue, says that the flag is almost the size of a basketball court and spans more than 3,200 square feet.
So their complaint is the size of the flag, not the pole.
I think so. But the pole is around 130 feet tall, almost double the current allowance.
Yeah, that's very tall.
Yeah.
Tower of Terror is 200 feet tall.
I don't know. I agree with him. If you ever notice when, like, I'm talking medieval times, the tallest building was the group of people that had power. And this even goes back to like Egyptian biblical days, right? Pyramids, very huge. They're ones that had the power. Churches for a long time, think medieval Europe, Catholic Church. The church was the tallest building in any town.
Mm-hmm.
You come to America, and what's the tallest building? The freaking bank.
Well, the bank rents the building, or does it
Still.
own it?
Still, it's the bank above all the people.
I mean, that
Now-
kind of makes sense over here.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So him flag this high.
Mhm.
I mean, I have no issue with it. Watch him.
Well, I don't have an issue with it either, but if there are ordinances in place, he needs to
Follow the rules.
either follow the rules or do what he has to do to have it grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something. Let me see if I can find his quote. He says he won't budge and that the flags are his love letter to the United States, which allowed him to thrive after he had to leave Beirut, Lebanon. He says he plans to put up more flags, and when he reaches 1 million feet of flag, he'll feel he's ready to stop.
He's going to have issues with 1 million feet of flag.
That's a lot of flag.
Yeah.
You think about it, though, this guy from a foreign country
Mm-hmm.
More of a patriot than
is
some
more
Americans.
of a patriot than some Americans are. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, some of this could be a safety issue.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if a really big storm came through and that pole came down, it could kill like 100 people.
It could damage a lot of buildings,
A lot of property.
damage a lot
Absolutely.
of people.
Yeah. And the flag too, you know, considering the size of a basketball court. But I don't know. I kind of like where he's coming from.
I do, and I understand it, and I'm not disagreeing with him, but he needs to follow the rules.
I wonder though if he got a shorter pole for these flags because of the weight, if it would be an issue because of the weight of the flag itself.
And that may be why they're as tall as they are, because it may be the flag itself. The flag may be too big to fly on a pole that's shorter than the poles are.
Right.
Yeah, that may be an issue.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of the story, but I saw the story and I was like, well, daggone.
In Phoenix, where I'm going next week, they have the ordinance of the cell phone towers can't look like cell phone towers.
Oh, you
remember
told me about that? Yes.
The cell phone towers look like palm trees.
Oh, palm trees.
and everything there cannot, like, it has to be a certain color.
Oh, to blend in with like the painted desert and stuff.
Exactly. So it doesn't contrast with the natural surroundings.
Excuse me.
It's like that in Sedona, because the golden arches in Sedona are turquoise. They're not golden.
Yeah.
That is wild. I thought that was one of the wildest things I'd ever heard when you first told me that, Dee Dee, that they were turquoise. Like, what?
Yeah, because I saw it and I'm like, whoa. But they have ordinances for the community that it has to blend into the natural surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an HOA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They tell you, okay, you can't have a purple house. You can have this color.
Yeah.
Pick from these. Some HOAs go overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are way too too strict, but
Very.
I'm sorry, it reminded me of another TikTok I saw of this guy who is hyping over his HOA and his trash cans being seen.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy?
I've seen him, but I haven't seen what he's done with his trash cans yet.
You know what he did with his trash cans? He covered them in artificial turf.
They look like a hedge.
They're still sitting out. Because they're charging him like $50 every time they can see his trash cans.
Oh my gosh.
That is stupid.
Yeah.
how are you supposed to set your trash cans out for the trash man to pick it up without your trash cans being seen?
Right. Maybe he just likes to leave them on that side of his house. They want him to pull them into the garage or something.
Exactly. And he's
Okay.
my garage is my gym. I'm not going to smell trash while I'm working out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trash cans should be outside. Although we kept the garage, but
I mean, I know a lot of people that will build like a little fence around them, right?
his fence that was provided, I guess, when the house was done, covers the AC unit. And that's it.
Well, just extend it to cover the trash cans.
Mhm.
He's just like, this is stupid. It's a trash can.
Everybody has trash cans.
Yeah. Everybody's got trash. They all look the same because he lives in a community that is the cities provide them. So they're the big ones with the flip lids and
those handles that they hook on.
Exactly.
And
that the trash guys don't even have to lift anything because the truck does it itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good for the trash guys, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah. But it was just
fewer backs getting thrown.
I couldn't help but laugh that he put artificial turf over his trash can.
Yeah, that's funny.
While he was mowing his lawn. You want to know how he's mowing his lawn? He had goats and mini cows. I'm like, man.
Do it for the vine.
His TikTok is paying his HOA fees, his dues and his fines.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's funny. That is hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Shoot.
Hey. Based on recent reports, Mount Spur, a volcano near Anchorage, Alaska, is showing signs of unrest, and scientists believe an eruption is likely, though not certain, in the coming weeks or months.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Where is that?
I don't know where it is.
I don't remember the exact location. They showed it on the map. It's right in here.
Oh, it's not too far from Anchorage.
Just west of Anchorage.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say just west. I mean, Alaska is like the largest state we have.
Yeah.
So it's quite a ways away, but.
Interesting.
What is this lake? I apologize to any indigenous people from Alaska, but I cannot pronounce your words. Chakachamna? Is that an H?
That's an H. CHAKACHAMNA.
Yeah. Chakachamna
Lake.
I think it was north of that.
Anyway, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, what's the movie?
Volcano?
Pierce Brosnan?
Volcano?
Yes. What's the movie?
No, Volcano.
Volcano?
No, Volcano had
Anne Heche.
Anne Heche and Tommy Lee Jones, right?
Yeah.
And it's in LA.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about with Pierce
Yeah, I
Brosnan.
do too.
Dante's Peak.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does anybody live close to it? Did that article say anything about that?
I didn't see anything about population, but I mean, it's under all this snow.
Yeah.
Not saying that
That'll
people
go.
live in snow, they do.
Yeah, that'll go away if it erupts.
See right there. It's going to come, depending on which direction it goes, it's going to end up in that lake or one of these down here.
Wow. Yeah, Alaska actually gets more earthquakes than any place in the U.S.
Yep.
I've been anchored.
And did you know that asteroid 2024YR4 initially had a small chance of impacting Earth in 2032, depending on what path it followed when it recently went through.
Wow.
Yeah, but it did not follow a path that would have put it on course to Earth, according to what I'm reading. So the risks of it impacting Earth have been significantly lowered for the foreseeable future.
So we typed in from Anchorage, Alaska to Mount Spur, Alaska, and it cannot find a route.
Sorry, we could not calculate driving directions.
Put on their walking.
Walking.
Yeah,
walking.
do like the little
Like hiking and walking.
Yep, can't do it.
See if there's.
I'm sure there's people out there because they're studying it. The volcanologists are studying it, so they're out there.
Maybe they're just intense.
Well, they may have been taken in by helicopter too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's beautiful.
there's still, parts of Alaska that you just can't get to.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did that cruise when Tim and I were first married, so this was 2005. We did a one-way cruise from Vancouver, British Columbia to Whittier, Alaska. And the road that we used was a train track through a mountain, but that wasn't even completed until 2002.
Oh my gosh.
So the only way you could get to Whittier, Alaska was by plane or boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have one of the things that was interesting about it was because of all the snow and how it impacts, school and everything, they have underground tunnels to travel.
Huh.
So in the wintertime, it's really bad.
Kids, you still got to go to school.
That's where, yeah. I mean, how do you get to the grocery store? You go through the underground tunnel.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
Well, when we were first relocated to Florida, I-75 ended in like Fort Myers.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't come across the alley yet.
No, they didn't finish that until after we had moved down, and that was in 1987.
Yeah. But US 41 did the original alligator alley.
Yes. Yes, the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have fences.
No.
So,
No.
Me and my first husband drove across that.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The Tamiami Trail, and it's called that because it was a direct route between Tampa and Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tamiami Trail.
Yeah. We drove across that, headed to the Keys when it was a 2-lane road. And if you got a flat, then you were just flat out of luck because there was nowhere to pull off.
Yeah.
You had to fix it in the road.
Yep. And that was the road that they were on. Dad was on going down to Miami for something that he was working on for welding. And he came across these people slaughtering a gator on the side of the road. And that's how we got gator meat to try one time.
Oh my gosh.
It was good. I liked it.
It was,
And it did not taste like chicken.
no.
No, I don't think it tastes like chicken.
No,
I mean,
it's like
it might have
seafood.
like a texture like chicken because it's not a fishy texture, but I still
I don't.
because it tasted fishy to me.
Yeah, I don't see a comparison to chicken at all, really. Not even the texture of it to me. Frog legs don't taste like chicken either. They don't feel like chicken in your mouth either.
Are they very
Frog legs taste, huh?
Are they very fatty?
I don't know how fatty they are.
Slimy?
It's not really slimy, but it's the way I had the ones that I had fixed, and I think they were grilled. If I remember right, I only had them once. It's been a while back.
Gator meat that I tried, it was grilled. Dad grilled it for me.
Yeah, and but frog legs also taste like seafood.
Yeah, I don't.
I liked it, but I like seafood.
Legs, I don't think.
I
do.
I don't really want to.
Yeah, me neither. I do remember one time we were at the state fair, and you remember we used to camp.
Yeah, I do have memory of that.
Okay. A mother would take us kids and we would go to the fairgrounds, and Dad and whoever was with us would go fishing. Right. And Dad caught some catfish. And when we came back from the fairground, he was frying it up. He was actually cooking, which surprised me. And I tried a bite of it. He had made a cornmeal beer batter and dipped the catfish in it and fried it up in an iron skillet. And that was actually good. I remember that being good.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not a real big fish eater.
I am not. I will eat tuna once in a while. Like I'll get on a kick and I'll have tuna for, I don't know, 2 or 3 lunches or dinners during the week. But then I will go for months and not touch it.
I'm not a tuna fan, but I'll eat salmon anytime.
Oh, I'm good seafood. Yeah, I like it. So does my husband. So it's not unusual for me to serve some type of seafood once or twice a week.
That's good though. I mean, fish is supposed to be good for you. Brain food is what Mother used to always say. You should eat it. It's brain food.
Yeah.
I used to
He
tell her,
never would eat fish.
no, I used to tell her I'm smart enough. She didn't like that.
Well, of course not. You just dismantled her argument.
I ate it. I guess I wanted to be smarter.
She said Dee Dee eats it. I mean, this was, the age of rearing children when it was okay to compare one to the other. But yeah, Dee Dee's eating it. You should eat it.
I don't care. I'm not eating it.
It doesn't mean Karen likes it.
Yeah. Yeah. My oldest doesn't like peanut butter. We tease her about that. I know. I'm like, how do you not like peanut butter, girl?
Especially with who her grandmother is.
Peanut butter queen.
I think if we would have paid closer attention when the storm was possibly coming through, we would have known it wasn't going to hit us. Because the dogs we have, they were not acting funny.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember stepping out to look at one time when I took some of those pictures and videos I sent to you all.
Yeah.
And she was fine.
Just walking around wagging her tail, hoping for a treat.
Yeah, she was fine. So, and I didn't think of that at the time. So, but yeah.
It's been a number of years ago. Like all of our kids were still in school. And there was actually a 4.0 earthquake that was here in West Virginia. They said was from fracking. Whether it was or not, I don't know. But it happened like up north, a little north of us. But we felt it. Before it happened, and this is why I don't think it was from fracking. The dogs were frantic. The birds were just flying. The neighborhood dogs were frantic. And then
they were howling, you said.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
2 seconds before it hit, they stopped and hunkered down. They hunkered down. And I was sitting on the couch. I was either crocheting or I was reading. And I remember my body went.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? Just hit my house, because I thought a car had hit my house. But nothing was broke. My windows were still intact. And I stood up and I went out and I looked. But after it happened, they were okay. So this goes right back to what Dee Dee and you were saying about the birds.
Yeah.
No.
Pay attention to your animals. Yeah. That reminds me, though, there was a time when there was a quake in the Gulf of Mexico. And if I'm not mistaken, Shalon and her husband felt it and thought it's when you all were in the apartment and you thought somebody was moving in or out and had backed a big U-Haul into the building.
Yeah, we thought a car had rammed into the apartment building that we were in. We were on the second floor, and I honestly think the one that we felt, if we weren't sitting still, we probably wouldn't have noticed it. Because it was a little thing where we just kind of went just that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and he looked at me and he was like, you felt that, right? I was like, yeah. So he goes outside.
Yeah, looking for the car, right?
Yeah, nothing hit the building. And we're like, okay, that's weird. And then the next morning, we had heard that there was the earthquake in the Gulf.
Yeah.
When up here, our youngest son said whatever class he was in, he was looking out the window. he said things went, and he said, "Did I just have a stroke?"
Your vision goes,
yeah. He said it was like weird. And then probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes after it happened, I get a text from our oldest son, and he texted me and says, "Tell me you felt that," and like 1,000 exclamation points. I was like, yes, I felt it.
Yeah.
But when you live in the mountains and something like that happens, that's a big deal. That's not a big deal for anybody living in like California.
No, that's normal.
No.
I mean,
like in Florida, you're not going to think
that happens.
Yeah, you're not going to think an earthquake in Florida either.
No, not at all. Hurricanes, Florida.
Yeah.
Tornadoes in the Midwest, earthquakes out in the West, and here in the Appalachian Mountains, you get rain and flood.
Yeah. Water.
Yeah, water and snow.
Snow. Yeah. Yeah. This is like the worst winter they've had in how long?
Oh gosh, 10 or 12 years. The year they move up.
That's what happened to me when I moved to Tennessee.
What?
That's what happened to me when I moved to Tennessee. My husband was telling me, oh, it rarely snows, but if it does, it's only a couple of inches. It's gone by noon. I'm like, okay. It snowed almost up to my hips that year.
Wow. Okay. It wasn't that high over here.
No.
But
Yeah.
But
he told me, he said, this is really rare. He said this, and I think he said that he couldn't remember the last time anything like that happened. And the interesting thing is, though, is that this lady who was my friend at work, who's passed now, but she was older, and she was born and grew up in Nashville. She said it used to snow all the time during the winter.
Wait, Dee Dee, you remember? And Shalom probably does too. It always snowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, in West Virginia,
snow through the holler that was knee deep.
Yes.
To go to school.
I remember,
and you went to school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now they call school off for little things. Like my girls were so upset at how much school was missed because of snow days. And they're like, we can go to school in this. Nothing is happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it used to be you would listen to the radio because there was no such thing as texting.
Mm-mm.
Or the TV, if you had TV, you turn the news on.
Yeah, turn the news on, and you would see, this bus is not running. And our bus number, I remember Luther Cook was our bus driver. Before he retired, his bus was number 38.
I don't remember that, but okay.
That girl I met at Pinnacle said that somebody was the bus driver.
Opal.
Yeah.
Opal Brooks.
Opal Brooks was the one that took over the entirety of the holler after he retired, because used to be he had the front end of Key Rock and she had the back end of Key Rock. But after he retired,
they changed and gave us. Yeah, and they also gave her a new bus, a great big giant one.
Yeah. She went from like the 60 passenger to the 90 passenger bus, like the really long ones.
I have a memory of a bus ride when I was in kindergarten.
Yeah, that was her.
Yep, that was a bus.
And she was like 4'10" and had 2x4s or a 4x4 or something strapped to that gas pedal and brake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit you not.
Oh no, she did. Yeah.
Sure enough. You can't.
I'll tell you what, if you acted up on that school bus, she'd put you down too, real fast. She's tough as nails.
We were in somewhere down a holler. I remember it was dirt, and we were coming out from dropping somebody, a few kids off. And I want to say it was over where Stephanie lived.
Yeah, Coonford.
Schoolhouse holler.
Yeah. And we're on the mountainside.
Oh, you're sitting on that side of the bus?
I'm on that side of the bus. And this, I remember it was a utility truck, like a power truck.
Okay.
That has the big things on the back.
Right.
Coming up. So she pulls over, goes by, the big truck goes by. And then when she starts to drive, the backside of that bus went off the mountain. Everyone except me, because I was scared stiff, went to the other side of the bus. Like counterweight. But I was just sitting there like, that was my I'm gonna die moment.
Yeah.
Of course she pulled it back up on the road, but that's the one memory I have of riding the bus up here.
And it would be that one, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, she would, if you were raising a ruckus, she'd stop, get off. get off of her bus. It didn't matter if you would your stop or not.
In Florida, I've had bus drivers stop the bus until everybody settled down.
Yeah,
and then go.
You can't kick.
Well, yeah, rules are a little different now. And when you were that age,
yeah,
because back in those days, you put a kid off the bus for misbehaving, they're like, well, the kid deserved it, and that's how it was handled.
Yeah. Now, when we were in Florida, I had an app on my phone, and it would give me a notification that your daughter is on blah 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 school bus. Because when they go on, they type in their student number.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any of this when mine went, because they got like a report card for their bus conduct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Never got that. And then I'd be able to track the bus. All right, she's 10 minutes away. All right, she's 5 minutes away. I better walk down to the street.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It was nice. Yeah.
But is that helicopter parenting? Is that what that is?
Well, I just making sure your child is safe.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it both ways, because
knowing, because there are, there were times when, if the bus got in an accident, it would take time to even contact the parents.
Oh yeah.
But with this new technology, you're most likely to find out faster.
Pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Just send all.
Yeah.
From the bus's computer.
Exactly.
I mean, I can see it. I can see it both ways, actually. I mean, I'm very much of a go, learn, make your mistakes, learn from your mistakes kind of a parent. But
I'm like that in certain situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, being on the bus though, and also she rode the bus with high schoolers too.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy to know where she was at.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been in TV shows, and I don't know if it actually ever happened, but I feel like maybe it did. Not on the East Coast, but somewhere else, that a busload of kids got hijacked. Do you remember that, Dee Dee? Or am I just remembering it from a movie or a TV show?
I don't know. I know they've done all kinds of movies and TV shows, but it could have happened in real life. I mean, kids have fallen into wells too, and that's also been in movies and TV shows.
We never had Lassie to go tell anybody that we fell in the well. This just happened in 2021 is the last one that I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
A rifle-toting Army trainee hijacked a busload of children in South Carolina. So, I mean, crap happens. So I can understand the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Especially if you can see. I mean, it's like tracking your pizza from Domino's, right?
Exactly. It was like a little GPS bus. That would...
Yeah. So, and you could see where it is. And if the bus had stopped and was there for a prolonged period of time, then that would be cause for alarm.
Yeah. Yeah. We even had a personal alarm for her. And I told her, I said, you have to have it in your hand while you're walking home.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anybody tried to come up on her, because her bus stop was right on 41.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was right in front of our neighborhood.
But still,
there's a little bit of walkway from the road to our gate, and then from our gate to the house.
Right.
I said, so keep that alarm ready.
Yeah. I think those are good, especially for women and young girls to be able to have that. And I think I am a strong believer in self-defense.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I watch reels of self-defense.
Yep.
I do too.
I am a strong believer in self-defense, and there's a place here that'll teach that.
For as young as my youngest?
Yep. It's a martial arts academy. They have a self-defense class.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the things that I've seen, on Facebook, littles.
Very tiny.
Very tiny.
And I remember seeing a news thing once. This has been some years back now. of it was like Amazing Videos or something like that, and it was a girl. I don't think she was even close to 16, maybe, I don't know, maybe 12. And she got in an elevator, and I forget where she was, but she got in an elevator
I think I
in
may.
a city, and she got in an elevator, and this man went in to do bad stuff to her. She kicked his butt.
Yeah, I remember seeing something elevator footage from the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He ran.
she beat the crap out of him.
He ran. Yeah, he ran from her. And I think she was like 12 or something, wasn't she?
I remember she was very young.
She was young, yeah. So, yeah, so martial arts and self-defense can help you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, that's what we should do this summer is take a self-defense class.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Shalon's like, please, I don't need anything else on my plate. I haven't even got moved into my house yet.
Can I just get a gun?
Weak points: the eyes, the lips, the neck,
The groin,
the groin for men,
Mm-hmm.
and the knees.
instep. That's where
Instep.
get to.
Instep.
Yep.
Solar plex, instep, nose, groin.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, miscongeniality.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot about it, but I'm recalling the self-defense reels that I've watched about weak points to attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a guy too who talks about how to be safe in hotels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
About using your phone to look for the cameras and stuff.
Well, yeah, that was one. And then you know how some hotels have the door guard that sticks out from the door, but
yeah, you swing it over this little ball thing,
and it's kind of like a chain, but it only opens so far, right? And he showed how people can close that with a hanger. So he's like, you always put a towel around that, and then you can buy a door stop and stick the door stop under there.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about next week?
Bucket list.
Bucket list.
I should probably make one.
Yeah, Shalon doesn't have.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
I don't have a bucket list.
I mean, I don't call my list a bucket list, but I do have things that I would like to do before I die or before I get too old to be able to do them.
Right. That's a bucket list.
Yeah. So technically it's a bucket list, but that's not what I call it. It's just like, man, if I have the opportunity, that's what I'm going to go do.
Yep.
Okay. Look at this. Look at this. He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy.
Throw my ball, please.
If I'm so good, throw it. All right.
Okay.
Next week, bucket list. Dee Dee, we will talk to you in chat.
Okay.
Stay safe with this crazy weather.
Yeah, they say there's more weather coming through. I don't know if we're going to get hit with it or not, but there's a chance. And there's flash flooding warnings and all that stuff. So,
all right.
But I'm fine. I'm up on a hill. It would have to be a biblical flood if my house was going to flood. So,
okay.
Yeah. Good to know.
That is good to know. All right. We will see you next week.
Okay. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
See ya.
Oh my gosh, we all did it at the same time.